So, you want to go to the UK Games Expo, but your wallet is already crying louder than a D&D bard who has lost their dice bag. Well, don't pack your meeples up just yet, because today I am going to show you how you can attend the UK Games Expo on a budget, still have an amazing time, and maybe, just maybe, have enough left over for a cheeky little takeaway afterwards. So whether you are a tabletop titan or a deck-building devotee and connoisseur, the UK Games Expo is the biggest tabletop gaming convention in the UK and possibly the most fun you can have, surrounded by cardboard and strangers. In short, it's the Glastonbury of board games, but with fewer tents and more dragons. A lot more dragons. So with that being said, my name is Jason and this is The Meeple Minded, and this is attending the UK Games Expo on a budget. So let's start with the biggest upfront cost, and unfortunately, while there is no negotiation on the set pricing structure, money can still be saved if you plan well and you plan ahead. So that brings me on to ticket tips. The first one is, if you're saving money, go for a single day. While the convention is incredibly large and there's a lot of trade stands, it is possible, if you research which stands you must visit, to get the whole thing done in one day. Friday and Sunday are usually cheaper and far less crowded, with this strategy less likely to work if you attempted it on the busiest day, which is of course the Saturday. The next tip, of course, is buy your tickets early. Grab the early bird. They are cheaper than on the door prices. It's a pretty standard thing in the UK and I'm pretty sure all around the world. But if you know you're going to be attending and when you're going to be attending, get those tickets early. While it may be a little late in the game for this tip, volunteering is a great way to attend the convention and you should definitely consider it for 2026. Volunteers often get free entry, free t-shirts and snacks. You'll work for part of the day, but you'll tend to get the rest of the day to explore, so it's well worth seeking out these opportunities. Kids under 10 go free. I know what you're saying. You're thinking, oh, well, I can't go because I've got a whole family to pay for and it makes everything expensive. That is utter rubbish. Kids under 10 attend the UK Games Expo for free. And if they are over 10, well, first off, make them go and get a job. But all joking aside, there are discounted family tickets available too. When it comes to travel to the venue, travelling in by train can be a cheaper option. It's how I will be getting there. It saves you parking charges, it saves you the cost of fuel, and make use of those split ticketing apps. You can also make a saving there. The next thing to definitely consider is coach travel, because it is far cheaper than using British train operators. Car sharing with friends, family or other members of the board game community. There are plenty of people on Facebook that are attending. It's worth seeking out to see if there's any close by you that wouldn't mind a car share and splitting the costs. Accommodation can still be found cheap if you are looking outside of the NEC complex. Sure enough, staying on site, you're going to be paying through your nose with an arm and a leg and all sorts of other stuff, but if you look at Birmingham city centre, Coventry, which is nearby, these are all really good places and still have cheap places available. Hostels, travel lodges, Premier Inns, they're all your friends at this point. They are going to be your cheapest options. Try your best to avoid the Hilton, the Moxie and all of the other wonderful ones that happen to be on site, because they are extortionately expensive. Food at the venue. Now, let's be honest, this isn't even just a thrifty thing. Let's talk food, because NEC food court prices can be scarier than a betrayal in Secret Hitler. While providing usually cheap chains like Subway and Wetherspoons on site, which is great, these venues are substantially jacked in price compared to their normal high street counterparts, so don't expect your usual cheap all-day breakfast at your Wetherspoons. we need to come up with some budgeting tips. So here we are. The first one is a pretty obvious one. Bring your own lunch. Sandwiches, protein bars, fruit, they are all great to sling in a bag and not get spoiled by the heat of the venue, because trust me, that venue gets hot. Which leads me nicely on to the next one. Bring yourself a refillable water bottle. Free water stations are available around the venue, and this will cut your costs considerably while also keeping you hydrated. If you can plan a supermarket run the night before, that would be great, because then you can get your breakfast and snacks, which will equal sorted. If, however, you must buy food on site, then please do check out the local options like Greg's at the Birmingham International Station, which is just a 5-minute slow walk from the main halls of the NEC. This will be your cheapest option in the area, or have a little wander over to Resorts World. One of the best things about UK Games Expo is you can play tons and tons of games for free. Demo games from publishers, open gaming areas where you can bring your own games or borrow games from the games library, meetups, learn to play sessions, loads, RPG sessions. Although those are pre-book only, and I'm not sure if they're still available at the minute. But what can I say? So much gaming happens at the UK Games Expo. You can literally game from morning till midnight and spend nothing but your energy, if you are not all that fussed about checking out the trade halls, of course. But there you go, gaming can be done very, very cheaply. Shopping smart is probably the hardest part for me when doing the expo on a budget, because the real thing is you have to realise that temptation is real in the expo halls. If you're on a budget, you need strategy, and you need to stick to that strategy. So a few tips from me really when it comes to a strategy and your spending is, the first one is set a spending limit and stick to it. Going with a cash only method is probably a very good way, but there will be some stands that do not take cash, and vice versa. If you are on site the whole weekend, my next tip would be save your shopping until Sunday afternoon. Vendors often offer discounts to lighten their load when it comes to tearing the stands down once the trade halls close on the Sunday. So grabbing yourself a last minute deal could be a great way to save yourself some money. Making a wish list beforehand and sticking to it so that you don't impulse buy is an obvious one, I think, at this point, but easier said than done, right? You can use websites like boardgameprices.co.uk to compare the on-site prices versus the online prices. Just remember, some deals aren't really deals at all. Make sure when you're on site that you grab as many promos and freebies and stuff like that from the publishers, because they often hand out the goodies while on site. Remember, just because it's got miniatures doesn't mean you need it. So that is it, guys. Whether you are there to roll dice, strike deals, or just bask in the glorious smell of unpunched cardboard, you can totally do the UK Games Expo without breaking the bank. If, of course, you did find this video helpful, then please help us out by liking the video, sharing the video also, so we can help out more thrifty gamers like you and me. And of course, subscribe to the channel, because we will be doing so much UK Games Expo content over the coming weeks, and of course covering the event itself. And remember, the final thing, it's not how many games you buy, it's how cleverly you hide them from your partner when you get home. Till next time, I have been Jason, you have been watching The Meeple Minded, and we'll see you on the next one.